Hello everybody, it's Miss Lee here again from Springwood Gymnastics. So today I'm going to do a video on balance. Now it doesn't matter if you're a beginner or slightly more intermediate, you can try this video but you might not get all the way because the balances start off easy and they do get harder, and they might just give you some tips to improve your balances as well. So make sure as well before you do this video that you've done a warm-up. Now there are warm-ups on other videos, but as we've talked about before, something that gets your heart rate going, so running on the spot, lots of jumps just like you would do in class, and then stretches, and there are other videos and photos of stretches you can follow, but I'm pretty sure most of you can remember which stretches to do at home. So do your warm-up before you do these. Particularly as well, I want you to focus on your wrist, because we're doing a lot of balance that's going to be taking the weight on our hands and wrists. So really do make sure you've warmed up your wrists. Okay, first one, obviously easy peasy, but with all of them, you can make them slightly harder. So the first one we're going to do is a side support, okay, which is up like this, but to make it harder, you can bend one leg, you can stretch that leg, you can make it different. So remember, with the side support, should be a nice straight line all the way down with the hips lifted, not on the floor like that. So nice straight arm here, feet together at the end, and then you can make it harder with different leg lines. So that's the first one. As I said, starts off quite easy. The next one, you lot are always better at me than this, is a frog balance. So you want to go into this slow, because if you go too fast, you will fall forward and you might hurt yourself. Again, as you can see, I've got a mat at home. I happen to own a mat. If you've got a mat, great. If not, try and do it on as soft as floor, some soft carpet or cushions as you can, because you don't want to hurt yourself. So for the frog balance, you need to make sure your elbows are pushed into your knees and that your knees are pointing outwards, hands flat in front of you, and it's not a jump. It's very slowly tilt and move your weight over onto your hands forwards, and it does feel a bit scary because obviously you're going towards the floor. It feels like you're going to sort of face plant on the floor, but that's why you've got to do it slowly. So just get into the right position here, so pushing your elbows in, and then all you do at the last minute is lift those toes up. Did you see that? Could you see my toes come up off the floor? Just like that, and see how long you can hold it for. Okay, excellent. The next one we're going to do is a headstand. Now this is a really good one to master, because once you've mastered the headstand, you can do lots of lovely leg lines with it. So hopefully we'll all remember that your head is the top of the triangle and your hands are the base of the triangle. That's the shape you want to make on the floor. You must have your head higher than your hands or you won't balance. And you're balancing on this bit here, so not sort of on the top to the back of your head, more on the front, more closer to your forehead than the back of your head, sort of middle to front of your forehead. And you don't jump into it, because if you jump into it, it's a bit cheaty and you won't find your balance. So you have to walk your feet in, and always learn a tuck position first. You don't learn to stretch your legs until you've mastered the tuck. When you can hold a tuck balance, a headstand in tuck shape, for at least 10 seconds without wobbling, then you're ready to stretch your legs, okay? So remember that triangle that I said? Just check you can see me, yeah? And you're going to walk your feet in until they can't go anymore, and then you're just going to lift them up into a nice tuck position. If I was doing this, look, yeah, that doesn't look very good. So slowly walk your feet in, tuck position. When you can hold that, then you can go up to a straight position. And then from there, you can make it pretty by doing different leg lines. Okay, any ones you want to make it look pretty, and then always come down the same way, nice and controlled. Excellent. Okay, the next one we're going to go on to is a forearm balance, or an elbow stand as some people like to call it. So this is where you balance on your forearms, this part of your arms here, not on your head. So you should be looking up with this really. Now, I prefer to do it with my fingers spread out, because that's where you get your balance from, just like a handstand. Some people end up doing it like this and that feels good for them, but try and keep your hands flat. And again, I think this actually is easier when you do like a stag leg line. It's hard to hold with straight legs. Try to come down the same way. If you do end up going over, which I do quite a lot, tuck your head under and roll, go into a forward roll from it. That's the easiest. You can go into a bridge, but it's quite difficult on your elbows. So if you do find yourself going over, you can ask a parent to put your arm there if needed, but if you do find yourself going over, tuck your head under and roll through it, okay? So, forearms go down, we don't kick off our knees. We must come to our feet position, or otherwise you won't get that kick. So forearms come down and we kick up. Sometimes you might need a bigger kick because it's further to get, it's quite hard. You need a big kick for this one. So up, down the back, the same way you came from, nice and controlled. Can try different leg lines. Bit of a double stag there. And a straight stag, but you can mess around with all different leg lines on your forearm balance. So that's another balance for us today. The next one is a handstand. Now, some of you littlies will struggle with a handstand, and what I see a lot of is if you put your hands down first and then you try to kick up, and that's really difficult to do like that. You end up doing like a bunny hop because you end up kicking both legs together. Now, when you're better at handstands, you might do some tuck jump handstands, which is a good thing to practice, but you need to get a good handstand first. So we always go through a lunge. I'm going to turn around in a minute, but we start from here, and as our hands go down, that's when we kick at the same time. It's like a pendulum. So you don't put your hands down and then kick. It goes from always from a stretch, through the lunge, hands down, and then you kick that back leg. Now the back leg is the easiest, but you've got to try and join it with the other leg and stay straight. And also, we don't want banana shapes. Sometimes my handstand is a bit banana-y. We don't want banana handstands. We want it to try and be as straight as possible. Your balance comes from your fingers. So you certainly don't want to be doing handstands like this or like this. The more spread out your fingers are, the better you can use your fingertips to move your weight. So if you're feeling like you're going to go over, you can try and pull the weight back, or vice versa, but it comes from your fingers. Okay, not sure how long I'll be able to hold my handstand, but hopefully you'll be able to see me go into it, because it's a bit slippy on here today. Okay, so I'm in my lunge with my arms stretched up tall, and as I go over, I'm going to kick that back leg. For little ones, if you want to, just to practice, and this is a really good tip actually, if you've got, you can do this on the settee or on a chair like this, something a bit higher, to practice keeping your arms straight, which is really important, because if you bend them in a handstand, you're going to put your head on the floor. So you can practice kicking like that. So stretch up tall, reach forward and kick that leg. Stretch up tall, reach forward, kick that leg. And the leg has to stay straight at the back and your arms have to stay straight. You don't want to do that. So that's a good practice. And then you can just start doing a tiny hop. Once you've got that nice straight arms and a tiny hop, you are ready to go onto the floor and do a nice kick. So let's have a go. So you've got that nice lunge shape, arms up tall, and back down the same way. One leg, then the other, not two legs together, okay? I'm just going to do that one more time for you. Ready? So kick up and down. Straight arms. Now if you go over like that, do tuck your head under and roll it out, or I know some of you can go into a bridge. That's another extension. So if you've got a nice straight handstand, you can look at going over afterwards. But please be careful. I'm on a mat. You need to be careful. So one more time, and again, you can practice with different leg lines. Like that. Straight. Oh, and I'm over. Okay? So it doesn't matter if you go over, but you just have to be careful. But try and get those legs together. Try and get those legs meeting up at the top together and then coming back down. Okay, so that's it. That's just a mini video on some balances to practice while you're at home, while we're not at gymnastics, unfortunately. You've got your side support, your side balance, trying to make it look lovely, lifting your leg. You've got your frog balance, which is a really good one to master. You've got your headstand, remember triangle, tuck first before you go to a straight leg. You've got your elbow balance or your forearm balance to make it look pretty. And then you've got the handstand, keeping your arms straight, no banana backs, keeping it as straight as you can, going up one leg and joining the middle and coming down one leg at a time. And if you do go over, like I did a couple of times, either tuck your head right under and go into a lovely roll, or carefully land in a bridge. But do be careful, I'm on a mat so it doesn't hurt me. Try and do it in a nice soft place that's not going to hurt yourself too much. Okay, enjoy your balances, keep practicing them so they're really good when we get back to gymnastics. Okay, take care everyone, see you soon, bye.